Hi everyone, welcome to another video on Data Popcorn. My name is Juliana and I'm going to show you how to combine the function DATESBETWEEN with a numeric range parameter to calculate sales from the chosen start date up to a user-defined number of days forward or backwards. What do I mean? I'm going to quickly show you what I'm planning to do. So I have here sales in period and I want to allow my user to define what is the window that they want to calculate that. So I have here slice and they can, select whatever date they want. Let's select here the 5th of March. And they can also select if they want to have that moving forward or backwards. So a negative value here will move back and positive forward. So let's just select here 10. And you can see here that the value is changing accordingly. And I have also a label here saying now that the date range is from the 5th of March 2025 to the 15th of March 2025. And these 2,894 accounts for 3.2% of their overall sales. So before we get started, let me quickly show you the data model, which is very important to get this right. So I have here my sales table, which is connected to a calendar table, so my dim date. And I also have another date table that is separate, so it's not connected to anything. And I'm using that separate table to create a slicer where the users will select which date they want to start the window for calculation. And the reason I'm putting separate is because I want it just to interact with where we're going to use that measure. I don't want it to interact with anything else on the page. Now that we understand that, we have to do the first thing, which is creating a new parameter. So we can go here on the model tab, new parameter, and then we select numeric range. So after we select here, we're going to say, yes, we want a numeric range. We can name the parameter. So I name my select days. The data type is whole because we don't need decimal. It's going to be per day. The minimum is how much back you want your user to be able to. I use -90. And the maximum is what's the maximum they want them to move forward. So I also put 90. And the increment, I use 1, but you can change whatever the increment you want it to. So after that, you click create. I'm not going to do it because I already have my parameter created. So let's cancel here. So now I'm going to move back to my report view so we can create the first DAX that we need for this example. So now let's insert our first measure. And I'm going to call it sales dynamic. And the first thing we have to do is to define the start date so we can use the function DATESBETWEEN. The start date will be based on the selection on the slicer. So we're going to create the first variable, which will be the start date. And that will be the selected value on our slicer, which will be from the table start date. And then we have to create a variable to identify how many days we're going to move forward or backwards, which is based on the selection on the parameter that we created. So let's call another variable. These will be rolling days. And I will also use the function selected value. But this time it will be from my parameter, which is the select days parameter. And if there is nothing selected, I'm going to use the default of -30. Now we have to define what is the end date because the function DATESBETWEEN also require an end date. And our end date will be the start date plus the number of the rolling days. So let's create our variable and date, which will be the start date plus the rolling days. And now you might be wondering, oh, hang on a minute. What if the end day, if we select a negative value on the parameter, the end day will actually be before the start date. So that's why now we have to define another couple of variables that will identify what is the maximum value and we'll call it where we're going. So 2. And the minimum value will be the value that we're starting from, which is be from. So we're going to create here another variable, which would be from date. The from date would be the earliest date that it will be compared the start and the end date. So we're going to use the function min. I'm going to put the start date and the end date. And the variable to date, it's the opposite, it's the maximum value. So I'm going to just copy this and paste, and I'm going to replace from to date, and instead of minimum would be the max. But guess what? I don't have time to continue with the return statement because I will need more than 5 minutes. So please watch part 2 so you know how to complete this example. See you.